So this is ICT-Ed, accessible through ict-ed.co.uk. ICT-Ed is basically a portal for teachers to access for primary and secondary ICT resources. However, it's got a bit of a twist to it, and I'll explain that throughout the video. Just a little bit of background information before I go into any more details. Around 18 months ago, I came from primary back into secondary and was asked to coordinate the primary ICT at my new school. And so what I decided to do was, I was working at a school that was allow me the freedom to introduce whatever curriculum I wanted, which was fantastic because 18 months ago I had this thought that the ICT curriculum currently was boring in primary and secondary, Key Stage 2, Key Stage 3, and I thought, school's giving me the freedom, I'll go and change it. Now, in light of the Michael Gove report, which literally came out just over a week and a half ago, it feels like I'm ahead of the game already, because what Michael Gove is saying now is what I thought back 18 months ago. So Michael Gove is saying that ICT curriculum currently is boring and we need to engage students with more relevant ICT capabilities. So he's talking about things like programming, introducing that into to 11-year-olds. He's talking about getting away from Microsoft products and starting to teach the children about how to use new technologies. And that was the drive behind this ICT-Ed website, like I said, about 18 months ago. So although the release date keeps changing and changing, because basically the website's ever growing, and when it started off 18 months ago as a simple tool for me to share resources with teachers in my school, I've now got several schools interested in this. So it's forever going to be developing, it's forever going to be changing, and so the actual launch date to get out of beta stage might even go past the 23rd of Feb. But I can provide you access to what is already built, what is already finished, through the website that I'll show you in just a minute. So just to recap, ICT-Ed is like it says here, it's a new website offering ICT resources for teachers in primary and secondary who teach ICT. So what I did basically, I was asked to coordinate the ICT in my primary school, and I thought, well, I don't want to just do lesson plans, give those to the teachers and expect them to do them, because if we really want to engage students in relevant content with ICT, then we need to engage them with exciting, fun, relevant new technologies, and it's not fair to assume that all primary teachers whose specialisms aren't ICT know about that stuff, and not only know about it but can teach it as well. So I didn't want to just give lesson plans out. I wanted to come up with some unique units of work whereby the teacher could learn about those units of work, or as easy as possible could teach those units of work. And the way I did it is I used screencasting to support the teachers and the students with the learning process for each of these units. I then developed a very simple tick sheet system, which I'm going to show you shortly, of how to assess those units alongside the national curriculum levels. Again, with the Michael Gove report, we're not too sure what's going to happen with those national curriculum levels, I guess, but I guess we'll wait and see. So for now, let me just stop talking for a little while and do some practical demonstration. So if you want to access the ICT-Ed website, we just need to put a slash after the URL here that we've got already, and just type in index2.php and press enter. And this is this will be the home page once the beta phase is over. And you can see I've tried to keep it as very simple as possible by asking questions, and then your answer to those questions will direct you to the content that you require for your teaching of ICT. So I work at this type of school, so if you're a primary teacher, you click on primary. If you're secondary, you click on secondary. Now, as I said, it's in beta stage, so at the minute the secondary's not got any content. If we click on that, it doesn't go anywhere, basically. So the primary content is what's currently developed and developing. So if we click on primary, that'll take us to the next question, which said, or prompt to say choose a year group. Now, when I originally built this website, I was just doing it for my school, so it was based on year groups. However, some other schools got interested, and so I had to change it or allow it for it to be adapted by swapping it to choose a grade. And the way I've done that is a very simple process that year sixes are grade fives. For example, year twos are grade ones, etc. So they will take you actually to the same links, but so you don't get confused, you can swap between years and grades. So if I just work from the grade system for this purpose of the purpose of this example. So let's say, for example, okay, I need to teach a grade 3 ICT. So I click on that, and then that loads up this window, and this window is the driving force behind my ideas for what ICT is in a school. So to put it simple, I think you can, and it explains here under each of these, I think you can teach about ICT. So you teach the core skills for the program of study of ICT. And I think that is important. I do believe that ICT should be statutory. I think it's a core subject that students need to have and to develop skills within. So if you're interested in just teaching ICT and the skills that are required in ICT, then you would access this area here, teach about ICT. If you want to, I do see that there's other ways of using ICT in primary school especially, where you can integrate ICT into your subject. So let's say, for example, we're doing geography and you want to use ICT to enhance the teaching and learning of your subject of geography. It might be a particular unit. For example, it might be history and we're learning about Tudors. And so you want to integrate ICT into that subject. And that's what I believe Teach with ICT is. We then have Teach through ICT. And my third and final way of looking at how ICT can be used in schools is how can it be used throughout the school for teachers to collaborate or extend learning outside the classroom, etc., etc. So there I'm talking about things like blogging, and I'm talking about wikis that we don't necessarily need to say are subject specific. We don't necessarily need to say are ICT specific. We might be having a blog for our staff meetings. We might be having a wiki for our CPD. So teaching through ICT is using that ICT skills and capability throughout the school. Now, when I arrived at my new school where this idea developed, I asked the teachers which of these were they more concerned about, and the majority of teachers said that they were more concerned about teaching ICT, the actual core subject. And so I started to develop this section, Teach About ICT, and to this date I still haven't worked. I've got the ideas of what I want to do with Teach with ICT and Teach through, but my core focus has been on the Teach About, so these are still in development, and if you click on these you'll notice that they're just broken links at the minute. Again, it's in beta stage, so please forgive me for that. But yeah, the core focus is the Teach About. So if I click on Teach About ICT, based on lots of programs and studies that have been researched on the web by myself, I came to the conclusion that the best way to organize the content for this website is to break the content into themes. So we have communication, research and de-awareness, handling data, control and sensing, and modeling and simulation. And as I've written in the help steps up here, the program of study is broken into 5 themes. To ensure pupils receive a broad, balanced ICT experience, it's recommended that all 5 themes are addressed in each year group. So what I'm saying there is that if you're teaching, for example here, grade 3, that throughout the year you should really be covering at least 1 unit within these themes throughout the year. Sorry, at least 1 unit throughout all 5 of these themes. So you should cover every theme in 1 year and at least 1 unit from that theme. So let's take, for example, that you want to do some control and sensing with your class. So we click on the control and sensing theme, and it takes us to the units that I've built for this theme. And you can see there's only 1 unit for this theme at the minute for grade 3, and that's Scratch, using Scratch in grade 3. I mean, that's again new technologies, programming at a very early age, because Michael Gove said that he wants to introduce the likes of Scratch for programming to 11-year-olds. Well, this is actually introducing it to 8-year-olds, and it's working. I've seen it working. I've been there, seen the teaching happening, so I know that 8-year-olds can do this. So what have we got? So here we've got the duration, how long this unit will take you. The application that you need to use to teach this unit is Scratch. You can click here and it'll take you to download area for Scratch. Subscription required, no. There's no fee, no subscription required for this application. You can just download it straight away from here. And again, it's the same setup for each unit. It'll tell you the duration, the application you require, whether subscription is required, and then it'll give you the objectives for the unit, which are here, all, most and some. The outcomes, so what you're actually looking for from the students by the end of the unit. And then you have all your resources for this unit on the right hand side. And I'll talk about these more in just a moment. And then the very core thing is this download button here, which will allow you to download the lesson plans for this unit. So again, you know, my idea was that I didn't want to just do lesson plans, but I still need to give them out to teachers, and I didn't want them to be so rigorous. I didn't want teachers to think that they could just, okay, I must do this lesson 1, this lesson 2, this is my starter, this is my plenary exam, for example. So I've called them mains. So as long as you cover the content here, mains, etc., you're going to do okay. And you can see that the video resources here that I've talked about link in with the video resources. The video resources that are accessible here. And you can see that the objectives that are discussed in the lesson plan and the outcomes are the same as those objectives and outcomes that are discussed on the website. If I scroll down, you can see that not only are there videos, which I'll talk about in just a minute, but there's other resources as well. And they all link in. They match those of the lesson plan. So, the core benefits of this resource, this ICT-Ed, is that, well, what we can do is we can show videos to the students that will basically introduce the units of work, explain what the project is, the unit is, and in this video, I'd like to illustrate how computer games work. And so what I do is I introduce all the units through videos, so the teacher could just put these on in the lesson and let the students watch this. It'll introduce the task, it'll tell them what the unit is. And then as the lessons progress, you know, they need to know how to use Scratch. So I don't expect non-specialist ICT teachers to know how to use Scratch. So video 2, students can watch a step-by-step tutorial of how to use Scratch. And it takes them through a progressive stage of how to start programming using this software.
Theme, control and sensing, unit, scratching.
Again, and it's the same for all of the units. Videos introduce the unit and they actually show students how to do the work. So the teacher doesn't have to stand there at the front and show students how to use this software or how to do this skill. The videos do it. And again, you can, as a teacher, you could watch the videos and then go into the lesson and teach it yourself with confidence. Or you could just put the videos on in the lesson if you're not that confident, and I will teach the students what they've got to do, because I'm the one who's recorded all of these videos. So that's again a core feature of this website. And then finally, the other core feature is the assessment. So when I started teaching primary ICT a few years ago, I did find the assessment section of, the assessment part of all ICT quite difficult. And I knew that when I took on the coordinator role that other teachers would find it difficult. So I built spreadsheets for each unit. So for every unit there's a different spreadsheet like this. You open it up, you enter your name, the class name, you enter all the students' names and their gender. So you enter that. You then go to the assessment sheet, and again these outcomes here link in with the outcomes that are on the website and the lesson plan. And all you do, it tells you the unit. Bob Jones, has he achieved outcome 1? If he's done it but it's not that good, it's 1 tick. If he's done this outcome and it's pretty good, 2 ticks. If he's done this outcome and it's very good, 3 ticks. It's a very simple ticking system which will give you an overall level for each student. And this level suggests what level they are working within. It's not a specific, they are a 4C student. They are working within the level 4C. And if you want to know what a level 4C is, click on the level descriptors and it says, well, this is what a level 4 is, and this is what most students in particular year groups and grades should be working at. So at the end of year 6 or grade 5, most students should be working here. Because this is a grade 3 unit, it's saying that most people should be working at a level 3B by the end of grade 3. So you can link your assessment outcomes to the actual level descriptors, and this will help you when you write your reports. So that, in a nutshell, is what ICT-Ed is.